Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Arsenal Editor podcast. It has been a very quiet week. I don't think since last time we spoke, too much has happened. I don't think there's been any social media storms. I don't think there's any ludicrous things happening on the pitch that may have been storms in teacups. I don't think we've scored too many corners or people have got too upset about it, progressed in any other competition, dropped any points or anything of the sort. It's been a very quiet week, hasn't it, Rory?
It's been incredibly boring.
Yeah.
Nothing, as you say, nothing too exciting happening.
We could just call it.
It might be it.
I don't know if it's worth even.
Is that it? Is that the podcast done?
That's it. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. How are you, Rory, mate?
Jeez Louise, man. What a roller coaster of a week. We've had everything.
Yeah.
We've had it all. We've seen it all. We've heard it all. It's been quite exhausting. I'm not going to lie.
I was just going to say, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. I've had the most relaxing weekend. Not doing a huge amount, just seeing friends. But like in the football world, I've been absolutely battered from like the most crazy news. Just news coming at you everywhere. Games, news, controversies, fans, criticism, everything's had it. Yeah, as I say, it's had all. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Sometimes you do have to remind yourself you're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, through as far as you possibly can be in every single other competition.
Yeah.
It does feel like there is someone ready to drag you down no matter how well you're doing or any little thing that happens at any given time. And look, we are going to talk primarily, I think, about where we are given the context of having played a really good game up against Portsmouth side, who were very up for it. Had a difficult game midweek. Lots has happened. We'll cover all of that, and we'll, of course, get on to what we'll do for Chelsea following. I think we've got United coming up. A lot is happening. So, do you know what? I know we were saying, we're tired of stuff. I have to say, it's a weird place to start because I know it was a while ago now, the Liverpool game, but for me, the way this weekend was framed for me started at Liverpool. Like, I was so ready for a Premier League break. Like, we were sitting next to each other at the game at Liverpool and right behind the Martinelli incident, if we can call it that. But I think we'll get into that as we go. But coming out of that game, I was like, we were very disappointed from a really bad performance in the second half. But ultimately, a point at home. It's another game we haven't lost. We've maintained our lead. It's 17 games left to go. We're 6 points ahead. We had that context, and me and you in particular were kind of walking out the stadium thinking, we're getting a lot of negativity here from fans, but
sure.
I think we're all right. And then I get home, and Millie goes, "Oh God!" Like my wife Millie, for those listening, and just says, "God, Martinelli's in a bit of trouble." And I was like, "Is he?"
Yeah.
Like, we were right behind him. I was like, "What for?"
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I was like, what? And it was like, saw this Gary Neville stuff, and I was like, and I just knew at that moment that it's just not going to be a fun 4 days. I just knew it. Like, I was like, and I have to say, mate, I don't know if you've seen just sort of the lack of posts since our post from Martinelli, but I've not been on social media, man. I just can't be arsed.
Yeah,
I'm
not surprised, man. I'm not surprised.
Cannot be arsed.
We for context, we put out a post on Instagram, basically explaining what we saw or what we gathered from being in the stadium, which was
without any Gary Neville commentary,
no Neville,
no
bullshit,
replays,
no Keane nonsense, and just away from all that shite. And it was a very tetchy, high-pressured game with Arsenal desperate to win and the fans desperate to get that 8-point advantage from second place. It was in a named storm as well, which didn't help. So the football was very ugly. There weren't many chances. Liverpool dominated us for the whole of the second half.
I think it was we dominated them for the first half, and then they completely dominated the second half. It was a very strange.
Yeah, we didn't see the ball at all. And then it was just so there were tensions high all round the field. Players going down, left, right, and centre, who were trying to kill the game or delay the game. It was either Martinelli or it was Frimpong or it was whoever. So the game was just littered with people just flying down and lying down, as I say, trying to delay the restart or just kill the momentum. So when this happened, there were undoubtedly a lot of people who couldn't see from where we were sat because we were sat directly about 20 metres away from where the incident happened. So if you were on the other side of the stadium or on the other side of the pitch, you could be forgiven for just thinking that Bradley was going down to kill the momentum which Arsenal had at that very small point in time in the second half, because we didn't have much momentum in that second half. But
just the injury time we did. That
exactly,
was
and we were on a sort of mini break, and we were trying to look to take the fast throw in, which is why as soon as the ball goes out, Martinelli turns his head away from Bradley, who goes down, to try and find the ball to try and get it back on the field. So as soon as he turns around ready to take the throw and he sees Bradley half on the field, half off the field, he gets frustrated, obviously walks down to him. The crowd is going nuts at this point, thinking,
agreeing with Martinelli,
thinking that's like because half the stadium haven't seen him go down and twist his knee. You know, from our side, you could there are obviously a lot of people who could see it and see it was a serious injury, but the rest of the stadium went nuts because they thought it was just more time wasting. So Martinelli, who then clearly, and you look at the replays, just hasn't seen Bradley go down, walks over, throws the ball, drops the ball, and whatever. I mean,
happens every game.
Take Neville, take Neville's words if you want. But then you can see in the replay that Bradley sort of shuffles himself more on the field, either through pain or he's just trying to stop the game, which is quite right because he's in agony.
Yeah,
which is fair play, and he also wants to stop Arsenal getting momentum. So absolutely, doing the right thing. Any footballer would do the same. So Martinelli takes that to mean that he thinks that he's not that injured, because if he's at street smart to try and move himself on the field, then maybe he's just trying to kill the game, get an advantage, which we've seen many times during the game. So then he just thinks, right, I'm going to shove him off, which you see every single season.
Yeah,
and it's no different.
And actually, you see it at least a few times a game where someone is on the floor pretending to be injured, and
you try and help him off.
And they try. The amount of times, how many times you see a player, from the opposition team try and drag up a player. It's the same as that. And it's crap, right? And I feel so sorry for Conor Bradley, who doesn't deserve to be in this media storm at all. He's clearly like a great kid.
Yeah.
Got this horrible injury. And you put it this way, how many times do you hear, I don't know, let's call it a Gary Neville or someone who's creates a huge storm out of this, and then suddenly the manager says something incredibly reasonable. So Arne Slot comes on. Martinelli, clearly a nice kid. There's no way he could have thought he was injured. Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. Yeah, that's a very sensible opinion. Martinelli is clearly distraught. Martinelli's not the most important thing here. Conor Bradley is, obviously. But, in the heat of a moment, he doesn't know he's injured. And what I will say is that the theme of the game was trying to slow momentum down, because we had this really weird scenario where Arsenal had such big momentum in the first half that Liverpool were faking quite a few injuries. Frimpong had a really long one. And the heat in the stadium was... play on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, we had started to fake a few injuries because 100%. Liverpool had all the momentum. So 100%. Martinelli himself was on the floor. Yeah. And the whole crowd, Arsenal fans, were going mental at Martinelli. He's saying, get up. Yeah. We don't need this. And he ends up getting up. And, and unfortunately, this is part of the game. And just specifically this game, it was such a theme, which I don't know if it came across on TV, because it was white hot in the stadium when people were down. So when it was Conor Bradley and when we finally had some momentum in that second half, it was just, everything was on a knife edge, and it didn't. And I was next to you, and it sounds like you saw that you thought he was injured. I was so surprised when a stretcher came out. I was like, oh, this is just another one of those, and then I felt a bit bad because you're sitting there going, well, I was shouting a minute ago, and now I'm like, oh, there's actually a stretcher here. You feel guilty as a fan. Never mind how Martinelli felt. So I think that's that. I think you know what? I'm sure I've not been on social media, but I'm sure there's been all sorts. But I think there was a very strong initial reaction because of the way Gary Neville led it. Yeah. And then I think since then it's really calmed down, because I think people have gone, actually, Slot's fine with it. There's been an apology. There's some level heads around. Do you know what I mean? It's just. But then Martinelli will carry that everywhere he goes now, and
he's going to be booed everywhere he goes.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And it's just like
what, a 23-year-old kid.
What's ironic is I'd love to imagine if it wasn't Gary Neville who said something like that. Imagine if it was like Martin Keown or someone, and I would love to have known what Gary Neville would have said, like about that to friends or whatever, potentially on the media. If he'd heard, say an Arsenal player, or say like Martin Keown was someone comms, and then he's saying, I wish the Arsenal players would just go and thump the player who's trying to push the Arsenal player off.
It's ridiculous.
And take the red card. Gary Neville would be fucking livid with like Martin Keown for
and
saying
if it was
like
about a United player, for
example.
example,
He'd hit the roof. He'd probably be in the field trying to do it himself.
Exactly,
but like,
yeah.
it's pathetic, so
mate.
like from a man who's
particularly from Keane.
Yeah, mate, you've got fucking no leg to stand on.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Why are you piping up?
It's very surreal, and you actually, and it's these kinds of incidents where you forget they're like early 20s kids.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like it's a 50-year-old bloke, Gary Neville, going basically just lambasting this like poor kid who's just like clearly made a mistake, but it was a mistake. There was no maliciousness there.
Yeah,
and he just like suddenly, and he knows
punched and then take the red card.
It's just like, come on, mate. How old do you think you are? And it's really disappointing, to be honest. But I think that's what we've come to expect from this sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and it wasn't Schmeichel as well. All three of them, Schmeichel, Keane, and Neville.
Oh, what a shock!
Yeah,
what a shock!
It was. I mean, look, the most important thing is that Neville. I mean, Bradley has suffered for him like devastating injury. We obviously wish him well, but it's just been blown into something that is just so stupid.
It's ridiculous,
and I think that's all we should say about it because it's so boring. It's so boring.
Let's move on. Because I think the reason why I wanted to bring that up is just purely to frame how I felt going into this weekend. Because I don't know about you, but even though we are technically still top of this, and we basically all systems go, it's about as good as it gets at the moment. I do feel like everybody is just waiting for the tiniest thing to be able to make a huge thing of, to like hate on Arsenal for a bit. And I'm sure there's reasons for that. Whatever. Like ultimately it's entertainment. So it's not the end of the world. But like it's just these small things. It just stops the enjoyment, and it's ridiculous. It's basically we drew a game and we're 6 points ahead.
Yeah.
And then we go into the weekend, and it did feel like I nearly didn't watch the game, mate. I'm not gonna lie. I was so like just drained of it all. But I have to say, 10 changes, different competition. I felt really excited going into it. Fresh team. Fresh opponent. Fresh vibes. I like Portsmouth. I didn't like them 3 minutes in.
No, but it made it more engaging because you do want to see how Arsenal react in moments like that.
Yeah.
And react we did.
Certainly did.
From set piece.
Well, what do you... Yeah, well...
Again.
What
are the chances? I
wonder why people don't like Arsenal. It's...
own goal as well.
Oh, mate.
Own goal set piece.
I knew the moment I saw that, I was like, oh, that is just the most fun... Like, you just know people are not going to like that. Yeah. But, again, did not go on Twitter. But look, yeah, that first goal, Kepa's got to do much better. But straight away, I think that first... Even like 30 minutes after we've scored, like I just didn't think we were taking the game that seriously. And when we started taking the game seriously, there was a few things we were doing. There was like back heels, and Madueke wasn't tracking back. We were losing the ball, and Kepa for some reason parried it in front of him. All this sort of stuff, and it was like I think they basically went 1-0 down. And went, I think we actually need to try here in the White Hart atmosphere. So, and
what did you make of the lineup?
Great, brilliant, first class, no problem.
Yeah.
Rotate, great. Maybe I'd put Gyökeres in. I don't know when we're going to do the Gyökeres thing, because I think we're kind of talking about this.
Let's get through the analysis first of the Portsmouth game. I think ironically, all I'm going to say about him now is that ironically, I think it would have been the perfect game for him.
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying because he is showing himself to be a player who might be suited to more of a championship game, if you know what I mean.
And how many of those will you get? You know,
exactly.
This is exactly the game we should be playing Gyökeres in, but because he's been playing a lot, you know, they feel like they have to get Jesus back up to fitness. Kai Havertz is back, both of whom look miles better in every single department than Gyökeres, unfortunately, at this moment.
Yeah,
we're there. Come on, let's go for it. I mean,
fine.
I think my position on this whole, we are a certain amount of time into Gyökeres's Arsenal career now, where dragging away defenders every now and then, it just isn't going to cut it. And I think what we have to think about Gyökeres is he is one of Europe's best goal scorers last season, who isn't quite fitting or moulding in at the moment, 6 months into a 5-year contract. And we have to think of him like that. If we really are truly going all in this season, and we've got the best opportunity we probably had ever, we don't have time to continue with this Gyökeres stuff. He's not adding enough to the game, as hard as he's trying, to justify a starting position. And with Jesus there, with Havertz there, quite frankly with Marino there, these are all players who are 10, 15 times above what we're seeing from Gyökeres right now. And I think that can change, but it's not going to... I don't think we can keep trying to force it through because we spent money on him. Yeah. Like, we don't have time for this. We've got Chelsea, we've got United coming up, Chelsea twice, I should say. We've got Inter Milan. Like, we can't afford this now.
No.
And we are as positive, hopefully, as Arsenal fans, I think, can be. And I'm not doing this for reactionary stuff. And I'm not like, Gyökeres is a hard worker and he's got 5 years contract to prove himself. At the moment, like that's not happening. So we just need to do something else.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Bless him. I feel like we're carrying him a bit. And look, it happened to Kai Havertz when we were playing in midfield for too long, and suddenly he burst off for 6 months. So it can happen. But there's so much that he's not doing. It's I think it might just be a miss. It might be a miss in the transfer market.
Yeah. You're talking to a man who's got Gyökeres in the back of his shirt. So I am as
You've gone from this to this.
Literally. I am. I've been willing to give him as much time as possible.
Yeah.
And as you say, there does just come a point where you can't be in sort of testing mode, or you can't be in bedding in mode, because if you're going for the title, we just don't have that luxury, as you say. So.
We're wasting halves of football.
Yeah, and we spoke about it about the Liverpool game. After the Liverpool game, we said that game would have been the perfect game for someone like Mikel Merino, who plays. He obviously doesn't have the same finishing as like Harry Kane, but he does play that. He plays that role.
Someone's going to clip that.
Yeah, he plays that. He plays that role where he just drops deep and then like releases the two wingers in front of him.
Yeah, he does.
So he's much better at linking up play. And to be honest, from what I've seen, he's much better at finishing right now than Gyökeres, because I can't think of a single Gyökeres goal apart from the Leeds one, and not the penalty that he scored, where he's actually just hit the ball cleanly and it's gone in, because he's scored like tap-ins, or it's come off his thigh, or he's scuffed one in against Atletico Madrid, or scored like easy. It's just not working for him. But I just think that, without being too harsh, that if it carries on like this, and he's got 7 goals in 24 appearances throughout, his Arsenal career so far.
I know, but I do think of those goals though.
Yeah. Well, it's the overall play. Yeah. I feel like he's just not. It's just not gelling. He's either just not on the same wavelength as people like Saka or Odegaard or whoever. He's also not fashioning chances for himself. He's also not fashioning chances for others. He's obviously taking players away, but that's the bare minimum for a striker at this point in time. So I do wonder whether Andrea Berta coming in, who I'm not sure, I don't know enough about him in terms of being ruthless and just realising if, clubs he's been at in the past, or Atletico Madrid, have made a mistake with a player they've signed, they will just try and look to move him on whilst his value is still high. Because he does have, in Europe, his value will still be sky high because of the way, the difference in terms of the league compared to, obviously the Portuguese league being very different to the Premier League. I wonder if it comes to the end of the season and he's still struggling, whether Arsenal will just be like, let's go and get Julian Alcaraz.
100%. I think that will happen. Not Alvarez specifically, but I do have to say, with the money that we spent, and I very much get where we went down the avenue of like squad buildings. I think that was the most important thing. I really do, and it's clearly working. Like we're very lucky to have had unlucky to have so many injuries, but lucky that we've had the money to be able to spend on a squad versus what Liverpool, for example, have been doing, and they're spending on their first 11, and when they have injuries, that's really hindered them. But I do look and go, if there was that whole, is it going to be Sesko, is it going to be Gyökeres? I'm like, and we've done really well as a scouting department for so many different reasons, but those two, like, was there no like? Did nobody scout? Nobody scouted
Osimhen,
Ekatike? Osimhen, who in fairness hasn't proven it in anywhere like the English league, but still did the Italian, I suppose. That guy for Brentford, Wissa was around, and Buemo. I know we
Tony
sort of
would have been amazing for us.
I haven't Tony though. He's been in Saudi, but yeah, you have to worry. You don't have to worry but ultimately, when was the last time we got that out and out striker that was a hit? Really,
How many are there? You look at the top scorers. You got Haaland, and then it's Igor Thiago, and then it's like Bruno from Newcastle's up there, and Bruno Fernandes, and there's a lot of players high on that. Semenyo, a lot of players high up on that list who just aren't strikers.
And the good news is, we've got so many of those players that could be hitting that kind of form. We're talking about a single position and a single person here, but ultimately, when Marino's there, it looks great. When Jesus is there, he looks electric right now. And he what's great about these players is they don't have to be the ones scoring the goals for us to be good. They allow so much more. And I just think with Gyökeres, there were so many times that Liverpool game where, and don't get me wrong, when the second half, the cutbacks didn't go to anyone either. But it did feel like there was particular chances where Saka was through, or just that cutback, no one was there. Where is that striking instinct that we really hoped that he would bring? And if that's not going to be there, then we may as well play someone else who might not have that natural striking instinct like Jesus, but he does so much else. Then it's worth it, So
it's weird because we should have, on paper, you look at the squad, we should have so many attacking options, or enough attacking options to basically blow teams away. But I just don't feel like we are completely going for it at the moment. We're playing Odegaard as a 10 or an 8. 10-8, I guess, 10. He's not playing like we saw, like Ethan, for instance, against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
So direct.
So electric.
And so quick when he gets the ball, just play the pass. Whereas Odegaard will take a million touches now, which is kind of annoying me, I'm not going to lie. And slows everything down, massively sometimes. Not all the time, but I'm saying, I'm beginning to notice it more and more.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we are... we're still winning games 1-0 or by one goal margin, and just kind of creeping through, even against Bournemouth, against a few weeks ago and stuff like that. So we are just eking it. But I feel like now we have the players to outscore teams, outscore them by 2 or 3 against lower teams, whatever. And we're just not giving ourselves the best chance of doing that. And I don't know. We've mentioned it on the. We mentioned on here before, if we play a second striker with Gyökeres to unlock him, be it Havertz or be it Jesus, because I know we did the post about how they could potentially be the new Henry and Bergkamp, slightly tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way that...
Slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah.
If you look at the way that Bergkamp could play the Havertz role, or Havertz could play the Bergkamp role, where he drops deeper and slides...
I know what you mean stylistically.
Stylistically, will play balls through and hang a bit deeper, whereas Gyökeres will be more keen to play on the last shoulder of the striker and just shoot first time. Obviously, I'm not saying he is like Henry in any way, shape, or form, but
I know what you mean. But stylistically, a piston, one goes up, one goes down.
Exactly. Stylistically, it's more like that. Where if Havertz, if they're playing, as a 2, Havertz can draw the striker away, and Havertz was then. Well, I'm saying Gyökeres can obviously run in behind, and then we'll then have. He won't have to deal with maybe 2 strikers, 3 defenders. It's just the 1 defender, which will open up space for him. I just think it needs to be looked into, because currently the way that we're playing is obviously not working for him. There's obviously been a lot of talk about his movement in the box when the ball's going across the box, and him not getting in front of the defender, and him being sort of lost in the pack. I just think there needs to be a bit of a shake-up, and I don't know if it's either a formational change to try and release him. I'm not saying we start with 2 up top, but I'm saying if we are struggling for creativity, it'd be good to see. It'd be really good to see.
Yeah, hey, it's an option, and I'd certainly be interested what 2 up top would look like in a modern day game of football. Against the low block, it feels like something that could well work. But
so they could be our new Bergkamp Henry.
Yeah, that's a headline that's going to go down in history.
Imagine.
Imagine. But there are unfortunately there are so many players I'd just love to see in that 9 position, given that Gyökeres has now had a go. Like, how would Nwaneri do, quite frankly? I think he'd smash it. In a title-chasing team, maybe it's not the right time, but could Eze do well?
I don't think he's
not quite the right fit.
He's the right fit.
But I think he'd be better than Gyökeres. I think he'd find himself in positions easier. And look, I'm not saying that's what should happen, by the way, because clearly we have Jesus and Havertz, and I'm so glad Havertz has both. Havertz looked exceptional.
Yeah.
It was
great to see him back.
Again, I've used this phrase before, but I feel like I've had a blocked nose and I could breathe again. You know when you just forget what that feels like?
For a year.
And yeah. Oh my God, he just links everything up so well.
Yeah.
We've been starved of whatever that is. And there will be times where he will be a yard out and he'll shank it or it'll go over the 100%. Bar. But how much else he gives us. If we could combine Mikel Merino, Kai Havertz and Jesus and Erling Haaland, why not?
Sure.
There'd be a hell of a player in there.
Yeah, be some player.
Unfortunately...
Looked very strange, but be some player.
That would be a strange looking person, wouldn't it? Had Trossard in there and it's just a very tired set of people, isn't it?
Just get like Jesus' height, Haaland's hair. all the worst attributes of them.
Ozil's eyes.
Ozil's eyes, yeah. Yeah. It would be
yes.
It would be it'd be helpful. I just think it's like a new as phrase as old as the age of time. It is like a new player for us because we've been missing him. We've seen him apart from the 10 minutes we saw at United at the beginning of the season. He's been out for pretty much the whole calendar year. So
good to have him back.
Oh yeah, it is good. But I do just think that the expectation will be massive on him. So there needs to be a bit of a grace period whilst we get him up to speed. And I don't know if we'll see too much of him against Chelsea, to be honest, because I think that will be quite a feisty game.
Yep.
Caicedo will be looking for blood again.
I'm curious about this Chelsea game, actually. I'm quite curious to see how it goes. Like, I'm quite excited about it, and I haven't really been excited about a football game in a while. The game at the Bridge will be the game at the Bridge, like whatever. I think it'll be scrappy, but I think at home, I think it will be pretty exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can just continue with this Madueke cross, Gabriel Martinelli heading it in sort of situation.
Yeah.
Which seems to be happening.
Yeah.
How many corners did he score yesterday? 2?
It's 2.
Great stuff.
Why
didn't Gabriel just score that one against Liverpool? That would have been so good. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought, though, Madueke being so good at corners?
Well, he's, swinging left foot. I think he's, from an attacking sense, I think he's one of our most electric players right now.
If you could just
defensively, he was a bit all over the place yesterday. But...
Yeah, but if you could just calm down when he beats a million players and cuts in from that right hand side, and he's in the middle of the box. If you could just stroke it home and not try and absolutely hammer it into the top left corner.
If
we could have a hell of a I love him, but honestly, he could be some player.
He really could be. I've got no.
He's got
idea
everything,
why
apart from obviously the defensive attributes we've mentioned and all that. But he's so quick. He gets past people so easily, which is so rare. You do not see that many times much in the Premier League. It is just that final bit.
Honestly, Nonny, if you're listening,
just
remember that goal against Bruges. Just do that every time, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
how hard can it be? You did it once.
Yeah, even if you're through 1-on-1. From the halfway line, there's nothing in front of you apart from the keeper.
Just hammer it.
Just hammer it.
Clearly got it in you.
40 yards. Yeah, just take it on.
It's a repeatable action, Nonny.
Just take it on.
No, he's some player, and look, I think when there's 10 changes and ultimately when it is against lower opposition like that, it's probably quite hard to get up for it in the right way, and everyone was a little bit off it. I think Arteta was a bit annoyed, and there was maybe a little bit of lack of professionalism, which turned very quickly. But Nonny Madueke wins an incredible penalty from a very unlikely scenario, and then immediately puts it wide. I just don't think we were taking this all very seriously when we very much should have been. But look, a couple of corner goals, a lovely pass from Gabriel Jesus to Martinelli. Again, those two, whenever they play together, Martinelli. I mean, look, he's come out with a hat trick. I appreciate 2 corners, but the other one was
it's 10 goals this season now.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I actually put down a note here to talk about his level. And where, like, how? If I was to ask you, we've got 6 months left of the season, or whatever it is, 5 months. How are you using Martinelli? What would you say?
How am I using him? I really liked him coming inside, like he did against Pompey.
Yeah.
In that striker role.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have ever been really pushed out wide to the left.
Because he came inside, as in, yeah. Well, he always does. With
he came inside when he signed. Unai Emery played him as a striker, and I can't remember what game it was in the Europa League, but he scored 2, and one was with a header, and one was with an unbelievable finish. And I thought that he was just the striker we'd all been looking for what's take it on from Aubameyang then, and then he was pushed out wide, and there's been so much talk about him. I mean, he's a confidence player, but he last season wasn't on form for a number of reasons, due to tiredness, injury, whatever. But he just wasn't being a man. He wasn't really taking shots on. Yeah. He's a good finisher. His heading's great. Yeah. It goes unnoticed, but he just, I think, would be more beneficial for us in the middle of the park from time to time. And I don't know if that's just rotating with the striker or whoever it is. Gyökeres is a bit different because I don't think he has that rotation in him. It's not that fluid to interchange the top 3. But if you've got Jesus, easy. Same as Havertz, they're all very comfortable playing on the wings. So I would play him like that.
I completely
agree. What about you?
I would let him hoover up any Champions League games. I'd let him hoover up any League Cup games, any FA Cup games, and I'd have him as pretty much a Jesus partner. Anytime Jesus is striker, Martinelli's on the left, and anytime Martinelli's on the left, Jesus is striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd almost just have them as our bomb squad. Tandem, yeah. Maybe they start, maybe they finish, but they're together. I think because Jesus is so comfortable coming out on the left as that winger, Martinelli often naturally takes up those inside spaces, and I'm going to take an educated guess here that it's probably just that pattern of play rather than... Because I don't know why they seem to play so well together, but I guess that spatially makes sense. Because Jesus loves to come left and then that does leave Martinelli to go through those inside channels, which we're seeing more and more. And by Jesus dragging players across and him going the other way, it feels like that makes sense. But I don't have that information in front of me. But if you got Gyökeres, who's stationary, when he does get the ball, is he going to trap it? Do you know what I mean? Or is he going to be able to hold it?
Balloon it out wide.
Yeah, I mean, Havertz prefers the right, but ultimately he is comfortable with both wings. Ødegaard prefers it on the right.
Do you know what we're seeing though? Is we're seeing we're seeing that there's so many different partnerships that have formed, as you say, with Martinelli and Jesus up top, and then you've got Madueke and Ben White down that right hand side, who have developed a really, really good partnership since they first played together. I can't remember who it was, but that you basically got like an L, like an inverted L, across the top end or top right hand side of the pitch, which arguably on their day is more effective than what we've seen with Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka, and Timber. Yeah, to an extent, and it's really interesting to see. Yeah, it gives us, great options, but I just feel sometimes we are almost more fluid. It's a very small sample size, I get that, but the signs have been encouraging, and that's a good problem to have.
Definitely,
I think.
It'd be interesting to see because Ben White's kind of again just been shut out of the team a bit, and I would like to see him have a spell. Like, don't get me wrong, like not instead of Timber, but come on with 30 minutes to go rather than 5, or not just be an unused substitute, because they can unlock each other. And we're in a situation where Noni Madueke has been able to start a few games, and it's been really helpful. Saka's looking pretty fresh, which is awesome. So
it's funny though, because you do, from where my seats are, you can get it's quite high up, so you can see the movement of players quite easily. You don't need to turn your head and see it all. We're practically on the roof, which is not great when it's -5. But you can see when Timber's playing and it's Ødegaard and it's Saka down that right hand side, and Timber makes a movement inside, and you're so used
to Ben
White going around the outside for so many seasons, and there's that space in behind, and you can tell that either Ødegaard or Saka's kind of looking for it, which is it's. again, you're not going to displace potentially the best right back in the world at the moment on form. No. But it's another good problem to have, particularly with our depth. But he's one of my favourite players to watch.
Yeah.
It's just the way he plays the game. I remember when he got nutmegged against someone against Portsmouth, and he just pushes him over to the ground.
It's so funny.
Refused to let him go past. But it's that type of attribute I just love. You don't see that too often in football.
No,
just an old school, just no nonsense, just not going to take any shit. Will try and wind up players as much as he can, and he just doesn't care. He gives that.
I love that
aura of just like not caring.
I don't think he's fazed by much.
No,
that's what I really like about him.
Not at all. He doesn't care about what people think about him. He goes and does what he wants to do, and he's ultimately just going to go and help the team win any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, it's always good to see him play, and we're going to need him big time.
Big time. And well, I mean, we might have an opportunity to use him a bit more because my next question is, with Hincapié out, how long is he out for? Do we know?
Don't know.
Let's assume for a bit. Him and Calafiori are both out.
Yeah.
That leaves a Miles Lewis-Skelly on the left-back situation, which I know you were talking about your seat being up in the gods normally, but we were actually much closer for this game against Liverpool. We were on the bottom tier.
Yeah.
And we were right next to Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I have to say, every time he comes on the pitch, it's not looking great for him, but probably needs a bit of an arm around the shoulder and a bit of confidence in minutes, because that's where confidence comes from, right? Yeah, you're the guy. But much like the Gyökeres situation, very different scenarios, but like again, we don't really have time to build up somebody's confidence and play them through what is ultimately a bad patch of form.
Yeah. I don't know why this is... I was thinking about this the other day and trying to figure out what is going on, because last season he would be so confident into stepping into challenges and then coming into midfield more and playing more in midfield. And he just seems to be very hesitant when he's not going for challenges, and he doesn't have the pace to keep up with quick players who can easily go around him. And I think that it's not good on the eyes when you can be beaten that quickly over and over and over again, because you've got to be more aggressive. If you're not quick, you've just got to take the ball if you're not really going for it. But I don't know. It's a real weird one, because he played so well against like PSG, and PSG had Doué and all those people, Dembele and who are just some of the trickiest wingers in the world. So, and this was never a question. This was never a topic of conversation. It was never, his pace was never really brought up. It was, everyone was just lauding him and how great he was. And, he was an England starter then, and everyone thought he would be the next left back for the World Cup. And now it's just
the opposite.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone not great.
Do you remember our conversation post Real Madrid, both ties?
Yeah.
I remember the specific thing we said about Miles Lewis-Skelly was that he was for the first 15 minutes of both ties, he was the only brave person on the pitch. And I include Declan Rice in that, not because he was but I just mean specifically for the first 10, 15 minutes of both ties. If you go and watch those games back, Miles Lewis-Skelly has taken both games by the scruff of the neck. There were missed passes from other people, and to be fair, like the one against PSG away, I think we were very good in that. But they were just so confident, and they were, and he
was calm.
He was so calm, and I just don't know where that player's gone, and maybe we just need to play him back in. And this is where Arteta the coach has to become Arteta the manager, and that's how you evaluate him in these kind of moments. And how do you get the best out of these players?
Yeah, I just don't think his position is left back anymore. I think he's kind of grown out of it. I think that to be a left back in this league now, you need to have a certain level of pace, which I don't think he does. And I think he's just more effective in the middle of the park, driving forward, playing those balls through.
When's he going to play then?
Well, I mean, either you send him out on loan to get some more game time minutes, and I don't know. I don't know, because we haven't really seen him in like an 8 as well. Can he? Because we against PSG, against Real Madrid, we've seen those balls being played through.
Yeah, exceptional.
When he played that ball through to Martinelli in the PSG game, when Martinelli had that chance and Donnarumma saved it, but it was his ball.
Yeah,
his driving ball. Same again against Atletico this year.
Yeah.
So he's got it in him.
But is he gonna? we think about that position, and that might well be the most stacked position we've got. I mean,
but Norgard's not going to last forever.
Well, if you're talking about an 8,
I reckon it'll be a 6 though.
I reckon so. But
it's good defensive cover. Again, it's a matter. You've got a bloke who can play many positions, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
It's invaluable, as we've seen, to have a big squad because you just don't know what's going to happen in terms of injuries.
Yeah, you'd never do. But if we look at that left 8 position anyway, generally though, I mean, I think it's probably a good time to then talk about Eze not getting any minutes at the moment. Also, well, getting a few more minutes, but not necessarily dazzling. But we got Eze, Rice, Marino, Havertz, and then Nwaneri somewhere in there as well. Was probably on the right hand side, but where are we getting minutes for?
Well, you say that, but he's played more minutes for Arsenal within a football season. He's played more minutes up until this point than he has at any other season.
Is that for injury reasons?
I don't know.
That he has. That is a very weird start.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd need to do more research, but I think Arteta's just saying it's game management and body management and all that, which is fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
But at the same time, you're kind of looking at the team and thinking, where do you fit in? Because I just don't think it's. If you're gonna insist on playing Odegaard as your captain, there aren't many chances where you're going to be playing such a lesser team. I'm talking specifically about the Premier League. There aren't many chances where you're going to play both Odegaard and Eze, unless it's a cup situation, whatever. But I just feel he's too good to be just a cup player. Do you know what I mean?
There's a yin and the yang about him because they say that he's not really like the best going backwards, i.e. defending, but so you can't really playing in games where you're going to be defending a lot. But equally that means because he's probably best in open space, so when people are attacking you have more space for Eze to run in. So
exactly.
When you know that Arteta's the kind of slightly more cautious manager and he values that defensive attribute, then when's he going to play? He's not really unlocking low blocks either.
No, but you look at Palace. Palace was so good on the break last year, and that's where he thrives, and a bit like Gyökeres, ironically. But we just don't get the ball quick enough to him in space. We don't play like that, to be honest. It's always because we control games so much at home, and we're always just camped in the other in their half. There's obviously an emphasis on not losing the ball. I just don't think he's that player. He's the sort of player who will try and beat a man, then shoot directly without really thinking about it. And I just think the way that Arteta wants us to play is more controlled. It doesn't really suit him, to be honest.
Yeah, I just can't think of a game scenario where we would that isn't this basically. But he didn't dazzle against Portsmouth either.
No, but I think sometimes it's great.
Sometimes you look too into it, don't you?
It can be quite hard as well. It can be quite hard going away to a championship team in an FA Cup.
In 10 changes.
10 changes, crap weather.
Mustn't forget it's been raining.
You mustn't forget it's been raining. Please note down it's been raining. But I don't know. Players like that have bad games like that. I'm not really fussed. But it really wasn't that long ago that he was banging in that hat-trick against Tottenham.
Yeah.
He just needs a run of games. But again, it's just like, where is his best position? I mean, again, if we were to change the way we played and played 2 strikers up top and played him in a 10, and then I guess played like a diamond formation in the midfield with a defensive mid and attacking mid, and then two wide midfielders and then 2 up top. We're going quite Football Manager here, but I would be extremely horny to see that.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we all? I'd love to see all sorts of different things like that. So, good to hear. Well, look, we're through to the next round. When's the draw? I actually don't know.
Today.
Is it today?
Yeah.
Who's the game tonight?
Liverpool are playing Barnsley, I think.
Where are they playing them?
Yeah.
And they are playing at Anfield.
8:00. Anfield, yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how that goes. It's Chelsea next.
Yeah.
We are at home this week. What are you doing with your team?
We're away this week, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We're
Don't
away.
listen to a word I say.
Yeah.
We are at the bridge, and then in 2 weeks' time, we are back at Arsenal.
Yeah. What am I doing team-wise?
Yeah, what are you doing team-wise? I think
We've got Forest away this weekend.
Wimbledon are playing West Ham and the Wimbledon are winning. Oh my God.
Well, that was yesterday.
No, it's the EFL Trophy.
No, it was FA Cup yesterday. You're looking at QPR being West Ham yesterday. You're the wrong thing.
Okay.
I made Mike Wimmers. The
Under 21s. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. As you were. What am I changing? I am changing. I think I would go Raya in goal. I think I would go Ben White.
You go Raya in goal?
Yeah.
You wouldn't put Kepa in for the Carling Cup?
Semi-final, would I go? No, I don't think I would. I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Fair enough.
To be honest, I really don't. I think he'll be quite ruthless.
Funny enough, go on. You finish yours.
Yeah,
I think that's the only change here.
I think it will be Ben White. I think it will be Timbers. Sorry, I think it'll be Saliba and Gabriel, and then it will be Miles. I don't think he'll use Timber as left back.
Yeah.
Then I think it would be Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, maybe Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka.
So you're thinking it's going to be
a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah, I don't think Gyökeres is starting this game. I don't think. Maybe it's a last chance.
Actually, no bollocks. I think Gyökeres will start. I think Gyökeres will definitely start.
I think Arteta will go. This is the Carling Cup. I think we've got to give him this last chance. But I hope there is, because Arteta can be stubborn sometimes, can be good and it can not be. And ultimately, the amount of times we've been proven wrong by what Arteta thinks, and we go, "Oh, right, actually, he was right the whole time." But he can be stubborn. I don't want this choosing of Gyökeres to become a thing beyond the point it needs to, because of having to prove a point that you signed him, you know? And maybe in a League Cup tie, it's worth it. And he's been rested. He didn't play yesterday. So, he's fresh and ready to go. But, yeah, I certainly would be looking to start Jesus and Martinelli. I'd put Madueke on as well.
100%.
I would start Kepa. I think final's the only one you change it for, really. And the rest of it, I think I completely agree with. And I also think there's an element with Miles here where, like, I don't think Miles would be trusted to start a Premier League game yet. Who have we got on the weekend?
Forest.
Away? Forest away, United at home.
Yep.
That's hard.
And it's Forest, and also we've got Chelsea next week as well.
Yeah. And Inter.
Yeah, so it's thick and fast.
It's amazing what a draw at home can do to your confidence.
Well, I just think it's the negative press around as well.
I know, it's frustrating.
We're not getting back to it. Would you play, going back to the Chelsea game, would you play Havertz at all? Obviously not start him, but you'd bring him on 100%. Potentially, really?
Well, it depends how it's going though, right? I mean, ultimately it's going to be a close game, I think, either way. But yeah, 5-10 minutes.
I think it's one of those games that has...
They are a dirty team.
They are a horrible team. They're a horrible team. Apparently so are we. It has the hallmarks of a classic. Like, it's just a good semi-final where two teams really, I just get the feeling we don't like each other at all.
I mean, they've not beaten us in 7 years.
Yeah.
They'll want to change that. They've got to get two opportunities to do that.
Yeah. Do you know what I'd love? And we spoke about this at the Liverpool game at the Emirates. I'd love to see a good old-fashioned English tie in the Champions League.
I hope it doesn't involve us, though.
Well, but we have not seen it in a while. And we used to see them every year.
Yeah. Well, what was the last one? Liverpool, Tottenham?
I can't remember. Yeah, something
final.
Like that. But it's just there's just nothing like it's European quarterfinal, semi-final night when two teams in the Premier League are playing each other, because it takes it to the next level.
Was it Tottenham City, the one that Tottenham beat City? I can't remember. There was that last minute offside, but
I can't remember. But it was exciting.
On the note of the Champions League, and then on the note that we've got our second leg last for Chelsea, we are in that scenario where they've changed the rule this season in the Champions League, where if we finish top, that guarantees that we're second leg at home. Well, no, not top two, because if you're second and you play the first later in the knockout stage, and first, if you basically, the higher up you are in the league, the more guaranteed you are to be at home second every time, because if you're top, there's no one else that would come above you, and therefore you're second.
Sure.
Your second tie.
So it's important.
Second leg is at home, which is really important, I think. And we didn't have that at all last season.
So what are you saying? You're saying how would you approach the two games?
not Chelsea specifically, but I would
the Kairat and the Inter game.
I would be going, we've got to win these.
Okay.
Because we could I think basically finishing first this season, I think, is going to be more important than it was last season. Of course, you can be unlucky and get somebody who's really good, but like Liverpool did. But having that second leg at home is really important. And I think it's a factor, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be like, chuck it like last season. Take eighth or first. I don't care. But I just think it's an interesting quirk that we didn't have to think about.
Yeah. Well, we did get shafted last year with the away legs coming last.
Oh, I know. That's a woke nonsense, mate.
Yeah, and as I said to you the other day, I made the mistake of watching the second leg of the PSG game, which, for anyone listening, I highly recommend to not do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
It's heartbreaking.
And the rest.
Yeah, we were actually really good. So many chances.
Sobbing.
Yeah.
It was a big shame. Shall we talk about Mr. Berta?
We've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I
think we need to talk
we doing
about
Dick of the Day?
Saka's contract as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hasn't even look, let's do Dick of the Day, let's do Man of the Match, and let's get on to Mr. Berta.
Fine.
Who is your Dick of the Day?
Dick of the Day is Cadbury's Corporation.
Oh no, what did they do?
So I walked into the local supermarket the other day and saw in the corner right at the back the cream egg section.
Right.
And I thought, well, Christmas is gone, but the presents keep on coming. So I bought a pack of cream eggs, went home, massive grin on my face.
Oh no.
Opened them, and they've shrunk considerably.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What have they done that for?
Oh, mate, shrinkflation.
That's a woke nonsense.
Shrinkflation.
Is...
So if you're listening, Mr. Cadbury.
Which he does.
Yeah. Screw you. Because you've ruined a large to medium man sized
customer, friend,
friend, customer, purchaser.
Oh.
You've ruined his feelings.
Wow.
You've ruined his feelings.
Well, I can only apologise for shrinkflation, as it was called. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So that was a disappointment. Who is your Dick of the Day?
Good question. I think whoever invented Dry January.
Yeah.
Everyone's
miserable, aren't they?
Oh, mate. Well, no, I'm part of it. I'm going all in now. Oh, that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't technically have to, but I've got a wedding coming up and I've got to get in shape and all that jazz. But you know what? I mean, hey, I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic. I don't think we are. But a month off is probably good for you.
Yeah.
And we're doing it. But
some of us.
Some of us, yeah. I actually had a very sober... No, I tell you what. That Liverpool game I did completely sober. And don't get me wrong, I only ever have a couple of drinks at the football. But there was times I was like, this is a really sobering experience in every single way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If there was a game where you needed a drink, it was that one.
Yeah. I actually got home and scoffed vodka down before I went to bed. No, I didn't really.
We're not saying drinking is good.
No, there are other alcohols available. Yeah. Talk to me then. Who is your man of the match?
I mean, it's easy to say Martinelli. I'm going to go a bit different. I'm going to say Madueke just because he just liked what he did.
I agree.
And liked his style.
I think he was great.
Yeah.
He was kind of a bit crazy. He was very involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, very good. I'm going to say, just for sake of difference, I'm going to say Nwaneri. And I don't think he had his bad moments and his good moments, but when he was good, you do see him move the ball quickly, and that energy that he's got was pretty electric.
It's great. I would love it if, going back to Madueke, I would love it.
Love it
if he scored against Chelsea.
Oh, him and Havertz.
Oof.
That Havertz double a couple of years ago for the 5-0.
Yeah, that was
5-1. Madueke scored in that game.
He did as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Technically 6-0.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Berta.
Yeah, Mr. Berta.
Tell me.
Don Andrea. He came in March 2025, and I don't think many people had high expectations of him to integrate as well as he did so quickly. I don't think that people were willing. I don't think people were willing to. Were understanding that he was going to throw his weight around so much in the summer, and what he's done in such a short space of time is frankly ridiculous. Because we came in and we needed new contracts with Gabriel, Saliba, Saka. Dauman was potentially had every single club in the world, in the universe, trying to get hold of him to sign a scholarship with them. You had Nwaneri. the doubts about him and whether he was going to play more in the centre or play out wide. Then you had MLS. We had a whole revamped squad that we needed to fill a lot of holes in. We needed to try and get money for players going out. We needed to keep players happy, again, with contracts. And I don't think there are many people on the planet who would be able to pull off exactly what he's done.
No.
And I don't think it hasn't got spoken about enough since.
I'd love to know how much like upward management there is within that as well. So how much he's done with the owners and how much he's pushed back on Arteta. And it's annoying. The only one in my head I'm thinking of is Gyökeres, and the only reason that sticks out as potentially a miss is because everyone else has been such a hit. Mm-hmm. It's been a joke. Everywhere we've needed a position, we've filled in. I don't know where on earth we found Nkapie, but he looks like something else. The contract renewals. I cannot think of a stressful contract situation.
No, which is bizarre because we're used to just players running them down and then having to sell them either on the cheap or sell them in January or just...
How long is Declan Rice away?
Worry about it. He's next. No, Timber's next. And then I think they're starting the conversations with Odegaard, Declan Rice, Raya, Havertz, and I think maybe there's one more, but that was... Yeah, it's going to be super interesting
That is interesting.
See what happens because he's giving us the best chance to
go
on for many, many years and challenge.
What's next for him?
On his list?
Not contracts, but players to bring in. Would you do anything in January? Would you get a left back?
No, well,
can we please get through a window and not having to think about a left back?
I don't think we'd. No, I don't think we do. I think Calafiori's coming back soon. Hopefully, touch wood. Unless we have a horrendous injury to, I don't know, someone else, God forbid, then maybe we would look in. I mean, if Havertz got injured again, maybe we'd have to go. Actually, I don't even know. I don't think we would. If I'm trying to think of a player, we're so well stacked now, as everyone knows, that if we lost, I'm trying to think of a player who, if we lost them for the season, it would be like critical and we'd have to go.
Right. To go into the market. Sorry, I just meant detrimental. No, I don't think it'd be ridiculous to sign anyone. It would be stupid. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we have the best player in every position. That's not what I'm saying. The saying is like we've got so many players contracted up, two players in every position. Like even at striker where we're moaning about Gyökeres, ultimately got Havertz, Jesus, Marino, who are excellent. Left back we've got Nkapie, we've got MLS, Timber can play there. We've got Calafiori. It's just
rumors though about Gay, which is interesting.
The long term version of that scares me, but I mean, because how old is Guehi? 25, 26?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I don't see
why
the
does it
point.
scare? Because we've already signed Saliba and Gabriel on contracts.
I mean, I'm a nervous fan at the best of times, Rory. So who knows? But I was like, I don't know. I did just look at him, and do you see him going to City?
No, I don't know where he goes. I don't know where he goes. Liverpool, maybe.
I really wish City didn't score 10 goals this weekend. That was frustrating.
I just say that City did lose Gvardiol and Diaz, didn't they? To long-term injuries. So maybe that is the play.
Yeah.
I don't think that
they need to sign somebody at the back.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean that is a smart play. Do you know there is an argument where if we were to adopt, and I think I mentioned this on the last episode, I can't remember, if we were to adopt the Alex Ferguson school of being absolutely brutal and also being very direct with your planning, there is an argument where we could have gone to get Semenyo, and I know people would be, that's ridiculous. We've got so many players in that position. Yes. But I think that you are probably going to let Trossard go maybe next year in the summer or Martinelli.
Yeah.
Potentially.
We've got to start thinking about it. And, Martinelli is hovering around.
Because you're probably going to get... You're probably going to... If I mean, depending on how Martinelli finishes the year, I do think that Arteta loves him, though, and it would be a very tricky situation. But there is definitely a conversation to be had about who is going to be sold, because I think that one big player will be sold. Feeling it'll be Declan Rice. Not Declan Rice. Ben White. Sorry. That was.
We've got to finish this podcast in a second. You cannot.
That was a crazy slip of the tongue. Imagine if we were like, yeah, get rid of Declan Rice.
Imagine.
God, the fan base.
Go to United.
I think the fan base is reactive now. Imagine that.
Jesus. Well, look, we'll see what happens. I mean, I can't.
But my point is that I think that if you were going to be absolutely ruthless for 60 million or whatever it is, I think he's going to be an absolute bargain. I really do. And hopefully he doesn't sway the Premier League in City's way too much.
Well, look, hopefully the Club World Cup will catch up with them. They'll continue to get a few injuries at the back, and Haaland will have a bit of a sleep. He'll oversleep for a few games.
When is the Club World Cup?
It was in
whatever.
August,
Yeah.
So like it just you hope
the tiredness catches up with.
Yeah, and look, it's happening. But look, I'm hoping we go and smash Chelsea.
Yep.
We can have a nice relaxing home leg after that. We've got
Forest
away. What day is that? Sunday? Saturday.
I think.
God.
Saturday.
A scary one. I don't like it. And look, let's see how we get on. But Rory, thanks so much. Everyone at home, thank you so much for listening. It's been a lovely one. It's been an in-depth one. I don't know where the time's gone.
Up the arse.
Up the arse. Rory, have a great week.
You too, mate.
Everyone else, have a great week. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.